She used to be sure of herself. Now, she second guesses everything, even her own memories. Meet Maya. 6 months ago, she was joyful, expressive, and full of color. Now she stares at her phone, rereading one text. You're just too sensitive. Again and again, she whispers to herself. Maybe he's right, but this isn't normal self-doubt. This is something more sinister. This is gaslighting. It began with small hesitations. Changing her outfit after comment, rewriting a message 5 times before hitting send. She didn't notice it at first. How her world had started revolving around his reactions. How her smile became conditional. How laughter started to feel like a risk. Maya used to dance in the kitchen. Now, she tiptoes through her days, worrying if her tone was off, if her glance seemed too cold. She began editing herself in real time to avoid a storm she didn't cause. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone makes you doubt your own reality. It starts small. You're remembering it wrong. You're imagining things. Why do you always overreact? But over time, these phrases become a pattern, a strategy to make you feel like the crazy one, so they don't have to change. Psychologists call it cognitive destabilization. It doesn't hurt your body. It fractures your mind. And the worst part, it's invisible. There are no bruises, no broken bones, just broken certainty. You begin needing their version of the truth to feel grounded. You stop trusting your gut because your gut keeps getting questioned. And slowly, the floor beneath your sanity starts to crack. It's not just forgetting what's real. It's being told that your reality was never valid to begin with. Gaslighting is psychological warfare with a smile on its face. Maya's story didn't start with shouting. It started with charm. He listened to her, admired her dreams, loved her quirks. But slowly, he started pointing them out as flaws. You always get emotional. I was joking. Why are you upset? You're not remembering things clearly again. The gaslighter isn't always evil. They're often insecure, and they gain control by eroding your confidence. At first, Maya thought he was just being honest, that maybe he saw something she didn't. But those honest moments came more often and only targeted her. When she spoke up, it became a debate. When she stayed silent, it became a win for him. He didn't yell. He just corrected, constantly, until her sense of self became an open wound. The charming version of him became a memory she clung to for survival. Here are the signs Maya ignored. Maybe you have too. 1. Constantly apologizing, even when you didn't do anything wrong. 2. Feeling confused after simple conversations. 3. Doubting your memory, even with evidence. 4. Saying, I'm overreacting when your emotions are valid. 5. Feeling like you have to prove your reality. If you've checked any of these, pause, breathe. It's not your fault. 6. Feeling exhausted after emotional exchanges. 7. Avoiding topics that once felt natural. 8. Becoming hyper-aware of how you speak, stand, or text. 9. Walking away from arguments feeling smaller. 10. Dismissing compliments from others because you stopped believing them. Maya thought love was supposed to feel complicated, but what she really felt was confusion coated in fear. And in confusion, manipulation thrives. Because when you can't trust your mind, you end up trusting the one who caused the doubt. That's how control works. The gaslighter's power grows in silence. Maya stopped sharing her doubts with friends because he said, they're jealous of us. Don't air our dirty laundry. So she isolated herself. And that's the trick. They cut off your clarity until you only trust them. The same person who's breaking you. Maya stopped trusting her own voice because it was louder and constant. She declined calls, skipped brunches, blocked people who noticed she wasn't herself. He made her believe it was loyalty, but it was obedience. He rewarded isolation with affection and punished independence with coldness. Dependency became love's new name. Maya thought choosing it meant choosing peace, but really it meant choosing silence, the kind that echoes in your chest and drowns your instincts. Gaslighting doesn't always look cruel. Sometimes it sounds like love. I'm only saying this because I care. I want what's best for you. No one else would put up with you like I do. That's not love. That's fear disguised as affection. And Maya began shrinking herself to avoid conflict, walking on eggshells, choosing silence over self. Love shouldn't feel like a courtroom. It should feel like a home. She rehearsed conversations in her head, censored her jokes, even monitored how often she laughed. Because too much joy might be suspicious. She called this love because that's what he labeled it. But love doesn't monitor your every move. It doesn't keep you on trial. Fear crept into her routine like background noise, subtle, constant, until love felt more like a trap than a refuge. One night, Maya recorded a conversation. She needed to prove she wasn't imagining things. When she played it back, the gaslighting was undeniable. She cried, not just because of what he said, but because she realized how long she had been defending him. Sometimes the moment of clarity hurts more than the abuse itself, but that moment is freedom's beginning. Her hands shook as she listened, not just to his words, but to her own voice in that recording. Timid, apologetic, unrecognizable. She didn't just hear him gaslight her. She heard herself believing it. It was a sound of someone trying to survive, of someone doubting their worth in real time. That night, something shattered. Not just the illusion, but the silence. Gaslighting recovery is not linear. Maya started journaling every conversation to track her reality. She talked to a therapist who named the abuse she couldn't describe. She reached out to a friend and heard the words, "I see you. I believe you." That sentence cracked the illusion. Recovery begins when we stop questioning ourselves and start listening to our intuition again. Some days she slipped, wondered if it was really abuse. But healing isn't a straight line. It's messy, honest, brave. Her journal became a mirror, reflecting the truth back to her, even on dark days. Her therapist gave language to her pain, and her friends reminded her she was not alone. Her reality was valid. Her voice worthy. Gaslighting doesn't just steal clarity, it steals identity. Maya had forgotten she loved to paint, that she used to sing, that her laugh was once loud and free. But slowly those parts came back. Gaslighting dims your light, but it can't extinguish it, not forever. She picked up a brush again, sang in the shower, off-key but free. She wore yellow, her favorite color he used to mock. She stopped apologizing for taking up space, stopped explaining herself for simply existing. Memories that once felt blurry began to sharpen. Joy felt less foreign. She didn't just survive gaslighting, she began to outgrow it. Piece by piece, she returned to herself. If you're watching this and thinking, this sounds familiar, please don't ignore that voice. Trust it. Write things down. Talk to someone outside the situation. Start validating your own experience. Because the moment you start believing yourself again is the moment their power breaks. This isn't just Maya's story. It might be yours too. And you deserve peace. You deserve clarity. You deserve to be free from emotional manipulation. Gaslighting thrives in the shadows, but truth shines in daylight. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't need proof to justify your pain. Your story is valid, even if no one clapped when you told it. Even if they called you dramatic, you are not overreacting. You are reacting to being devalued. The first step isn't leaving them. It's returning to you, and that is powerful. If this video helped you understand your story, take a moment, not to comment, not to scroll, just to sit in silence and breathe, because you are not crazy. You are not alone, and the truth has always been within you. Subscribe for more awareness stories like this, because your mind is worth protecting. And if no one told you today, you deserve safe love. You deserve to trust yourself again. Let this video be your mirror, a gentle nudge, a quiet revolution. You are healing, even now. So pause, let that sink in. You're not broken, you're awakening, and that is sacred.